Today in grammar and throughout this week, we're going to talk about abbreviations. Today we're going to talk about abbreviations for days and months and abbreviations for places. I'm going to do the teaching portion of these two lessons, and then I'm going to turn you loose for some extra practice in your reader's notebook. Now, an abbreviation is a shortened form of a word. Most abbreviations begin with capital letters and end with a period. So for example, Sunday becomes S-U-N period. Okay, we have capital S for Sunday, a period that just says there's more to the word, but we're going to shorten it. Okay, February becomes Feb. So let's look at these and see if we can abbreviate each day and month correctly. As we do this, I need to ask the thinking question, is the word a day of the week or a month of the year? Okay, so for this first one, Monday. Okay, how would you abbreviate Monday? Is this a day of the week or a month of the year? Right, it's a day of the week. We would have capital M-O-N period. What would you do with March? March already is a pretty short name of a month. But what would you do to shorten March? Probably the first three letters and then the period. Work through the rest of this projectable and decide how you would abbreviate these, and then I'll show you the answers in a second. So pause the video. All right, did you get these answers? The first three letters, except for Thursday, has the first 5 letters. Okay. These are always going to be the same. They're always going to have the first 3 to 5 letters when you abbreviate days and months. Now let's look at abbreviations for places. Again, an abbreviation is a shortened form of a word. Names of roads, streets, lanes, and boulevards are often abbreviated. So some examples are Ridge, and then instead of road, they wrote R, capital R-D, period. Elm Street, which happens to be actually the name of the street we live on right now, street is capital S-T, period. Lane is capital L-N, period. And boulevard is capital B-L-V-D, period. So your thinking question here as we go through these places in the examples here is the word a name of a place? Okay. Excuse me. So number 1, notice they didn't shorten the first word. It was the lane, the road, the street, or the boulevard. And you can use the examples up here in the box to help you. So wandering lane becomes wandering, capital L-N, period. North road becomes north, capital R-D, period. Pause the video and do the other 3, and then come back when you're done. Did you get them right? They're not very hard. Abbreviations are not hard at all. Okay, so now we're going to go to your reader's notebook and get some practice. In your reader's notebook, you will find on page 165 and 166, these are essentially the exact same thing you just did and worked through with me on the projectable, except for this time you get to write it in your book. Okay, so on page 165, you're abbreviating days and months. Examples and your thinking question are here for you. And then on page 166, you are doing abbreviation for places. Examples and thinking question is right here for you to do all of these abbreviations on each page. All right, have your learning adult check your work on these just to make sure that you are on the right track. Welcome to Grammar Video 3. Today we're just going to have a weekly review of abbreviations. Remember that you need to have the thinking question for the first 5 of is it a day of the week or a month? And 6 through 10, you need to think, is the word the name of a place? If you need to go back in your reader's notebook to the pages that we did those 2 types of abbreviations to review, you may do that. But you are going to start here on page 167, writing abbreviations. And then you're going to work on a proofreading piece. And proofreading your writing for correctly spelled abbreviations is going to make your writing stronger. And you need to make sure that you note the abbreviation's capitalization, punctuation, and spelling. Okay, so you got to think about all those pieces when you're writing. Page 169 in your reader's notebook covers the proofreading convention. Proofreading your work for correctly spelled abbreviations is going to make your writing stronger. So here's some incorrect abbreviations. And then the correct abbreviations here, they're missing capitals and periods. So you're not realizing that they're just shortened words because they have the period and there's more. You just think that they're trying to write AV as a word, which isn't. So you're going to read through this letter and use proofreading marks to write abbreviations correctly in this informal note. I can tell you that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mistakes that were made with abbreviations in this letter. Okay, you're going to use the proofreading marks down here in this box as you look through this and proofread it and make it.
So let's start. In short, abbreviations are shortened forms of words, like road can be written in short form as RD. Doctor can be written as DR. Monday can be written as MON. Tuesday can be written as TUE. Wednesday can be written as WED, and so on. Now let's see some examples of abbreviations for the names of institutions, businesses, places, degrees, and designations, etc. Masters of Art in Teaching is known as MAT. Associate of Arts is abbreviated as AA. Applied Information Technology is abbreviated as AIT. Bachelor of Library Science is abbreviated as BLIS. Bachelor of Medicine is abbreviated as BM. Bachelor of Arts is abbreviated as BA. Bachelor of Computer Applications is abbreviated as BCA. Bachelor of Communications is abbreviated as BCom. Now here are some abbreviations for reputed institutions in the world. Monday as MON. Tuesday as TUE. Wednesday as WED, and so on. Likewise, we abbreviate the names of months also. APR for April, FEB for February, JAN for January, and so on. Now let's learn some examples of abbreviations for titles. Mr. is written as MR with a period after it. Mrs. is written as MRS with a period after it. Likewise, we have an abbreviation for Miss as MS, Doctor, DR, Professor, Prof, Colonel, Col, Lieutenant, Lt, and there is always a capital letter at the first place. If we have to write Dr. Jones Carey, we will write it as Dr. with a period after it, and then write Jones Carey with the first letter of each word capitalized. If we have to write Amy D'Souza, we will write Mrs. with M capital and a period after it, and then write Amy D'Souza with the first letter of each word capitalized. Now, let's have a look at some words related to abbreviations. Acronyms.
Right, so abbreviations, what is an abbreviation? It's a shortened form of a word. Usually we use a period after most of the abbreviations, not all, but a lot of them. For example, Ms. Mitchell is my teacher. Ms. is abbreviated. It's an abbreviated form of mistress, and it's abbreviated to MS to shorten it, and we do use a period after that. Ms. can refer to any lady, whether they're married or not. Typically, a married lady we refer to as Mrs., and a single lady would be referred to as Miss. Ms. is correct either way, so it can be used for any lady. Another example of an abbreviation would be Ave for avenue. I live on Pennsylvania Ave. Abbreviations for roads and streets are commonly used when writing addresses. So how do we make an abbreviation? Typically, like for example with days of the week, we use the first couple letters of a name and then put a period. So for Monday, we use capital M-O-N, period. Tuesday, capital T-U-E, period. Months, November, N-O-V, period. When we're doing abbreviations for months, May, June, and July, they're already pretty short, so we don't use an abbreviation for those words. We just write those words out. Abbreviations are nice shortcuts when we don't have a lot of time and we want to take a little shortcut from writing a whole word. An abbreviation is good to use. When we're writing addresses, like I said before, typically a lot of the streets can be abbreviated. Sometimes you'll see something like Smith Street. You can abbreviate street with capital S-T, period. There may be highway, which is capital H-W-Y, period. Avenue, capital A-V-E, period. Road, capital R-D, period. Boulevard, capital B-L-V-D, period. Lane, capital L-N, period. And court, capital C-T, period. Think about your street address right now. Think about where you live. Do you live on a street, an avenue, a road, a lane, a court, something different? Think about the abbreviation for the street that you live on. Titles of people are also commonly abbreviated. These titles typically come before a name. Like I said before, mistress can have 3 different abbreviations. There's Mrs., capital M-R-S, period, which refers to a lady that is married. There's mistress with Miss, capital M-I-S-S, which refers typically to a lady who is not married. Mistress with capital M-S, period, is referring to either a lady that's married or one that is not. And in a situation where you don't know whether someone is married or not, and you are referring to them, it's probably best to use capital MS, period. Mr. is capital MR, period. Another common one that we see a lot is doctor, capital DR, period. Junior is something that would come after a name, capital JR, period. Directions as abbreviations. We can abbreviate north, south, east, and west by using a capital letter and a period after it. And other common abbreviations that we use are listed here. Let's take a look at some of them. Saint, as in churches, whenever we are referring to a church like St. Peter,